What's up guys, Matt back again, and welcome back to yet another community-driven video by our Matches Peaches community. Today, we're going to be ranking our top 10 most desired Masterlise figures for Dragon Ball GT. Before we dive into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials for the latest updates and behind the scenes content. Check out the description below for helpful links on how and where to buy the products featured in my videos. Also, join our amazing community on Discord. We would love to have you there. And of course, if you're feeling generous, consider becoming a YouTube member. Not only will you support the channel, but you'll have a chance to win brand new Dragon Ball figures every month. Of course, I'd like to thank this comment right here for suggesting Dragon Ball GT. We decided not to break up GT into multiple arcs, mostly because GT is so short, and I think there's just so much to be desired that it's a lot easier just to kind of make a top 10 of the entire series itself. So without further ado, let us dive right in. But of course, before we dive right in, I'd like to thank our Discord community for helping vote for these top 10 different characters, forms, outfits that we have yet to receive in Masterlise form. If you want to take part in community-driven videos like this, of course, join our Discord community. There will be a link down in the description below. And on top of that, if you want to suggest a top 10 video that we have not done yet, you can see that we've done a few different arcs already, but if you want to suggest it, if you're the first comment to suggest something nobody else has, then I will highlight it at the start of these videos like you just saw. But without further ado, let's dive right in. Of course, let's start out this with the obvious. As the great Carthus Dojo likes to say, Dragon Ball GT stands for Goku time. So we can't have a top 10 list without Goku on it. And there are many Goku figures that are missing from Dragon Ball GT. We wanted to not have too many Gokus on this list, so we decided on one, and since we already have Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 3, we had to go with the classic, the base form GT Goku. It is probably the look that we see him in most often in the series, probably other than like Super Saiyan 4. And, you know, Kid Goku is just a very iconic and easy figure to recreate. It's very recognizable, and his GT outfit is probably like in my top 3 favorite gi for Goku. I really like the colors, I like the design, so seeing him in his base form would be really cool. If they wanted to make a callback to the series itself, I think they kind of depict Goku with a slightly darker tan, so that would be kind of interesting to see on a Masterlise figure, just to see the contrast with Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, Goku is obviously a top 10 contender, but rest assured, this is the only Goku on this list. All right, moving on, we have a lot of villains in Dragon Ball GT that we have yet to see Masterlise for. We have Omega Shenron, we finally got Super Baby 2, but there's still a few missing that are pretty key for Dragon Ball GT. A deep cut villain that I don't see a lot of people really call back to or really remember, that I personally really enjoyed, probably the first villain in this series that I really started to enjoy, and that is General Rildo. General Rildo has a few different forms and looks. We wanted to go with his initial one as it's the most unique and the most iconic. There were a lot of jokes about Hyper Metal Rildo or just Metal Rildo when he's just like silver and naked. You know, people are like, nobody want a naked Rildo. I mean, I kind of do, but you know, blue, yellow Rildo, his regular form is very cool looking. I think it would make a great figure, and just like many GT villains, it would call back to a lot of our very hardcore fans that recognize GT and really like the baby arc. A lot of figures and characters from the baby arc I think would land well. I can't speak for everybody, but the baby arc is my favorite, so having more characters and forms from that arc would be much, much appreciated. You know who else is from the baby arc? Baby. But we just got Super Baby 2, so I would be very, very surprised if Bandai was not already working on Super Baby 1. This is a very unique looking form. It's definitely very different. Just like Super Baby 2, Vegeta starts to mutate and his body changes. I even think he gets kind of taller because Super Baby is depicted as a taller character in a lot of the video games. It's not super consistent in the anime, but you know, the new Masterlise of Super Baby 2 is pretty big. So this is another figure that could be a little larger than usual, and he just looks so cool. I think it looks the most unique out of all of Super Baby's forms. I still am personally attached to Super Baby 2 more than anything, but Baby is my favorite villain from Dragon Ball GT, and frankly, he's probably one of my favorite villains from the Dragon Ball franchise because I think his story is pretty well written and executed for the most part. So having Super Baby 1 to kind of continue that train of baby figures, the best villain from GT, I think it would be an awesome sight to see. So Bandai, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. This is a no-brainer. This is what the Omnibus Ultimate Last One prize should have been, even though I'm not really complaining about another Golden Uzaru, but I am happy to say that, hey, Bandai, you should work on Golden Uzaru Baby. Yes, there are 2 baby Vegetas on this list. I promise that's it. There's no more baby on this list, but Golden Uzaru Vegeta is so freaking cool. This is Baby's most powerful form. It would make an awesome figure as well. And if you're like me, you're a boomer, you're in your 30s, maybe you grew up with the PlayStation 1 and you played Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, a terrible game, but nostalgic as heck. You remember that the final boss of the game was Golden Uzaru Baby, and that was so cool. It was super dramatic. He has awesome music behind him. It's so, so cool. There's just a lot of nostalgia for GT. I don't really love GT for the most part. Like most of GT, I think is not great. But the Baby arc is super cool. I love Baby as a character. I love his design. And just having more Uzaru figures, especially Golden Uzarus, would create really cool centerpieces in a lot of collections. All right, let's take a pause on the villains from GT and let's talk about some protagonists like Trunks. Trunks was one of the main characters, at least at first, in Dragon Ball GT before it started to kind of veer away and just focus entirely on Goku and a little bit of Pan. But Trunks was part of the adventure in the beginning. Trunks is already a fan favorite character, especially Future Trunks, and GT Trunks looks like Future Trunks for the most part. I actually really like his outfit. We had a couple of different choices between Super Saiyan Trunks, him without the jacket on, but I think it's most iconic if he's fully dripped out, brown gloves, brown jacket, black shirt, blue scarf, base form. I think it's the most unique because, you know, Super Saiyan, everyone has blonde hair. Trunks is that one Saiyan with purple or blue hair, depending on what the depiction is. But I think Trunks would be a no-brainer choice in this top 10 list, and you gotta have some protagonists on here. It can't all be villains, plus most GT villains kind of suck anyway, so Trunks, let's get them done. All right. I don't love her depiction in GT. I prefer her in Dragon Ball Super, especially Superhero, but you can't have GT Masterlise without GT Pan. She is basically the second main character of the anime. I find her incredibly annoying and she's just really getting in the way most of the time and causing trouble. But Pan is iconic to GT. She's most associated to GT. I think she would fit in perfectly. Plus, on top of all of that, Pan's outfit is very unique, having the orange bandana, the backpack, the red shirt. I think she would just be a really nice gesture for people who enjoy GT and who just recognize some of the iconic characters and looks from Dragon Ball GT. So as much as I dislike GT Pan, I would love to see her as a Masterlise. All right, we have one more protagonist for this list, and it's a character that I feel like is just entirely slept on by Bandai and even the writers for Dragon Ball Super, and he was just so shafted in GT, but he had so much potential, and the moments that he did have were so freaking cool. And of course, I'm talking about the reincarnation of Majin Buu, Oob, specifically Majub. Majub is such an awesome form. It's when Buu and Oob combine their powers together and basically become like a super powerful human version of Kid Buu. And he just looks super cool. He's just, he's a human with, Kid Buu's outfit on. He kind of reminds me a little bit with his hair and everything, a little bit of Kaioshin for some reason. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it definitely reminded me a lot of that, which is very weird thinking about the lore with Kaioshin and demons with Daima now, but that's aside from the point. Oob is just a cool character. He's very unique, and his powers are super cool. He's one of the things that we remember a lot from GT, even though he only has like one moment, and in that moment he gets his butt kicked by Baby anyways. But I like Oob. I would love to see him more and more in the figure space, whether it's from Dragon Ball Z, but definitely in Dragon Ball GT as Majub. All right, our final 3 figures, and some of these are no-brainers and some might be a bit of a surprise to you. So let's start with the no-brainer. Of course, it's Super 17. I really dislike Super 17. I really dislike that arc. It's only like 5 episodes long. The Super 17 arc is just a mess, and it's like one of the biggest things you can point to that shows the problems with Dragon Ball GT. But regardless, a lot of people do like Super 17. They like his design, they like his powers, and you know, he is one of like the big villains, the boss characters of GT, but there's like 3 big ones. There's Baby, Omega Shenron, and Super 17. We have Super Baby 2. We have Omega Shenron. You gotta have Super 17. Plus, he could be a really tall figure, so I think a lot of people would appreciate a figure like this. Android 17 is popular in general, probably the most popular he's been in a long time, thanks to the Tournament of Power. So GT, on top of that, with him being a boss villain, would be really cool to see, as much as I dislike the character. All right, here's one of my curveballs to you guys. We were going all over the place with the Shadow Dragons, but frankly, I think most of them, if not all of them, but Omega, are incredibly forgettable and just not that, like, you can't even remember some of the names of these. And I'm like autistic with my love and attention to Dragon Ball, and I was having a rough time for remembering which dragon, what their name was, what their power was. So really, at the end of the day, when we were going through our top 10, if we were gonna pick a Shadow Dragon, we were like, well, we have Omega Shenron, why don't we get Sin Shenron? And I think that would be a really interesting Masterlise figure because they could do something unique. And I don't remember if Sin Shenron was any bigger or smaller compared to Omega Shenron, but if he is smaller than Omega Shenron, that would be a really cool contrast to our existing Omega Shenron figure. And of course, he would look a little bit different. His spikes are definitely smaller. He's missing, you know, the Dragon Balls on his chest, and he's got it on his head. So from a design standpoint, he would offer something a little bit different, and he's the other form of Omega Shenron that we're missing. So it would at least complete Omega Shenron set. And I know a lot of people might be thinking, what about Nova or Ice Shenron? And frankly, they're fine. You know, I understand people like them, but Sin Shenron is probably more beloved, more iconic, and he would accompany Omega Shenron a lot better. And finally, the last pick on this list is technically a Shadow Dragon, but it's something that I would really like. And like one of our last videos, I started talking about, you know what collectors really love? They love dragon figures. They love big dragon figures as last one prizes. And another dragon that has yet to receive an Ichiban Kuji figure that would be completely unique and looks super cool is Black Shenron. So we have Ultimate Shenron from GT, which is the red Shenron from the Black Star Dragon Balls, but we don't have Black Shenron, who comes out of the corrupted versions of the regular Dragon Balls. He would be super cool just because his design and his proportions are very particularly different than Shenron. And bro, he smokes a cigar, and I like a good cigar every now and then. So hey, I vibe with you, Shenron. You're a very cool guy. I'll smoke a cigar with you. But yeah, he's just super cool, very unique, and I think a lot of people who love these larger figures would be very satisfied with the last one prize Black Shenron and maybe a dedicated Dragon Ball GT Ichiban Kuji. But that's our list, guys. Please let us know your thoughts on this list down in the comment section below. If you have your own list, please let me know your top 10 most desired Masterlise from Dragon Ball GT. Sorry I'm still sick. I'm doing my best to get these videos pumped out while I'm still sick, but if you enjoyed this video and you made it this far, then please leave a like and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, if you want to join our growing Discord community full of awesome collectors and Dragon Ball enthusiasts just like you, I'll have a link to that down in the description below. It's free for everybody, so you can jump on in and take part in awesome videos like this. And of course, if you want to go even further beyond in supporting the channel, you can become a $3 member to help contribute to my channel and help it grow. And if you want to take part in our regular monthly giveaways, our $10, $15, and $20 members have a chance to win Crane figures, Ichiban Kuji figures, and entire Ichiban Kuji sets. But I think that's all I got for you guys today. So until the next video, I will see you all later.
全員は今未来